Hey there, Andrew from C1D Paintball. This game was the first of the night of this particular soiree of paintball. There's already been a couple of videos released to do with the gameplay. This is the first one we played that night. So you got about 20 players on the field, no rentals. So everybody's got their own markers, everybody's got a good level experience, and everyone this night was very level-headed. Nobody's stepping over the line in that. Real good, fair, sportsman-like players. But for the first game, we don't all know each other. Although there is a big group of regulars that are going every Thursday. The mix on this night, what we brought in, some of the guys from our crew and Sam and his boys, you know, you throw a little curveball and stuff. So for this first game, people are gonna like feel each other out to see how the game's gonna go. Now, it is a classic 2-floor. You can't cross the middle, which is one of the newer rules at Army Globe where the video is being shot. I should have said that before, but I just said it now, so I've checked that box. Everyone has 3 lives, so you can get hit twice, you're still in the game. Now normally, you know, you're feeling out the other team, seeing how they play, you have multiple lives. Normally this would lead to a wide open game. This is not a wide open game. I specifically go on the second floor to try to catch people, see what they're like, you know, take tabs on this player's like this player's like this, because we're gonna play for the next 2 or 3 hours together. You're not gonna see that many other players real cat and mouse tentative, almost to the point that if I would have shown you this and not told you that they're experienced players, you might have thought like, well, it's a bunch of noobs that kind of held back, but they didn't. But it's still a pretty good video. That's why I'm sitting here doing this, talking about it. And look, hope you enjoy it.
Wait, is it 2-floor? Okay, because I see Jack on top, boys. I see nothing on top.
So I'm on the second floor. I often go here when it is 2 floors. I like to go on the second floor first, see how things are going, even if I know the other players. Now, I really don't see people. I should be spotting people. Where I am here on top of City Hall, I should at least spot somebody in one of these spots here. Or hear a lot of activity, you know, even if I don't see people stationary on top, I can see them running around. It gets to the point where I ask the ref, is this really 2 floors? Because I don't see anybody. He confirms, yeah, it's everywhere. And it's like, well, if it's everywhere, where the hell is everybody? So for the first game of the night, you know, it's unusual, but I get this feeling like, you know, hey, we're in for some good ones tonight.
Guys, there's fucking nobody on top.
All right, finally, I spot an enemy player and he's on triangles. Triangles is an interesting position on the other side when you're spawning on the west side, because you got to know the field fairly well, because you can get dinged here if you don't know all the angles. Now, you can cause havoc here, but usually it's like a secondary position. You have somebody in the office, or you have somebody on the stage or on top of jail. So to have somebody in triangles here is interesting, and you know, I'm getting a whole bunch of curveballs here thrown at me. I will call the guy out. I mean, I want to get the team first game talking and see what's going on. So I'm trying to call this guy out, because anybody in the right position on the floor, they can get an angle on this guy at the triangles. But I mentioned before, maybe he's played there before. If he knows little angles, you know, he's putting a twist into this current game. And, well, let's see what happens.
Triangles! Triangles on top!
Now I'm about to move away from my current position. I'm still fixed on that guy triangle, but I want a different angle. I did spot a teammate of mine to my left. He's at the crow's nest by connector. A good spot for him to kind of take care of the south path, get an eye on that. Can he support me? He might have an angle on triangles, but right now, you know, he's in a good spot. He can go south path. In my head, when I move to this other spot, then I can call him out if I need some cover fire trying to get the guy I'm focused on. Now this little spot here, this little piece of wood, it's called triangles because of this triangle thing here. But this little piece of wood is where this enemy I've got in my lined up. Not on my sights. If not on my sights, I'd shoot him. That I'm focused on. And he's kind of bouncing back and forth between there. So it's not a great angle on him. So if I go over to the closet, I've got kind of a side angle, much better angle. A little window on the side of the closet. So this way, instead of being dead on to that piece of wood sticking out, if I'm on an angle, I can kind of, this is the piece of wood, I'm shooting head on, I go left to right. If I'm on from here, but if I'm on an angle, I can kind of shoot behind him. And I also even have a line of sight on the connector to the office. So if I do push this guy back and he goes to the office, or if there's somebody in the office that goes to support him, I got a line on sight on that guy too. Now after all that, I'm not going to really focus too much on triangles. I've been doing all the shooting. He's not shooting back. The other player is either being careful, apprehensive, whatever. But I'm not getting anywhere with this guy. So luckily where I am in the closet, just a quick turn of my head and I can see the graveyard area. Graveyard is good because I can see the jail, I can see the front of the church, and I can see the stairwell up to the stage and the connector from the stage to the jail. Pretty good line of sight here. Gotta watch it. Somebody knows the field though. They know that I might be peeking out from here. But look, I've only seen one other player on the field, at least on the enemy team. I've only seen one teammate, so who knows?
One underneath the stairs in graveyard.
A game of inches, a game of seconds. I spot my second enemy player, but I just had finished looking at the stage. I looked over there, should I go there? Then all of a sudden I look at the field, my marker's not ready. This player goes underneath the stairs by the graveyard. So look, I spot a player, but had I been focused there, might have had a shot at him. Wouldn't have been an easy shot, but hey, you've seen a lot of the videos. Most of the shots I do make are lucky shots, and maybe I would have got a lucky shot, but I didn't get any shots in at this time.
You should know that's a shitty place to hide.
Once again, freeze this. There normally are at least some players in any of these spots. There's 10 players on each team. So there's 10 enemies somewhere. There might be one in triangles still. You know, there's a guy near the stairs, but where are the other 8 players? A lot of stealth and a lot of patience because not a lot of paint being thrown here. Remember, you can't cross the mid here. So, and everybody has 3 lives. There should be free firing. So man, much different than I thought this game was going to play out before it started.
Fuck, I don't see anybody.
Okay, I moved out to the lookout position. It's got a good view of the field, but if you got a good view of the field normally, people have a good view on you. But this game is kind of like the backwards game, the non-logical, nobody's shooting and everything. So I'm up here and I take a peek, don't really see anything, but I'm not going to press my luck. I'm actually going to bend down a bit and go between the connector of lookout to closet. So I'm going to take advantage of the fact that there's not a lot of action, not a lot of people exposing, so that I can tag from up here. So I'm going to take some peeks up there, but I'm also going to go back and forth concealment of the connector, because surely it's not going to be this quiet the whole game. All right, this little sliver here, I spot another enemy player. Woohoo! It's a rare sight. It's like Bigfoot. He's kind of behind the lower office and the ghillie. And I'm shooting between the slats, but it's such a sliver here. And just being between slats of a bridge here, I don't have a great angle. So I'm going to see if I can pop up and maybe get an angle, a better angle standing up, a little versatility in how I move the marker. And look, I got 3 lives. Everybody seems apprehensive. I might as well be the first to throw caution to the wind here.
Ghillie! They're at the ghillie! 2 of them!
Okay, the call out now is that there's 2 enemies at ghillie, because I fire a couple shots in where I saw the one guy and actually see another guy. I thought maybe the first couple of shots I might have hit the guy, but because it's multiple lives, I'm not going to see anybody. If it was just 1 life, I could see somebody retreat from the field. So with multiple lives, you put your arm out, you call hit, you walk behind, you're in spawn, and then you're back. He's already in the spawn area. I could have hit him, he just goes behind cover and he's back in. So I don't know if I hit him. Giving away my location, but at least there's 2 enemies there. There are 2 enemies there by ghillie. So maybe my callouts can help my enemies. Maybe they can see some people. Maybe they can get these guys. Maybe something's going to happen, because there ain't a whole lot happening.
That's 1! That's 1!
Well, I got 1 less life here because I get plastered on the face. What I mean by plastered is literally like the left lens of my mask gets like totally sprayed with paint. I even have, you see me, I pull out a hanky that I usually buff my mask with, and in game I actually have to wipe it off, so he got me that good. Let's break down how this happened actually. So there's the enemy player, he's in view there. Here's my initial shot going in. Okay, my shot's down here, but uh-oh. You see that? That's the enemy's return fire already at me. Enemy fire a little closer. And boom, there you go. Yeah, that, yeah, made a mess. Here is it in slow motion without the brakes. Now pay attention, I'm going to show it how it actually happened in real time. Then I'm going to get back into the video, but it's pretty quick. Let's let it go here.
Fucking plastered. One under the stairs to the right.
That's the hot corner, where this little window here. Hot corner is a great spot for anybody spawning on the west side. And where I am right now is one of the few spots I can counter it. The east side can counter it. But it's got limitations because it's not just that window, it's the other side of it. That window is part of the hot corner. So maybe I can get lucky and catch a guy going through the window there. Now I am going to fire here without a clean shot because even though it's a far shot, I do have time to set up. But the reality is I'll put some shots in there right away to drive the guy back. It's already a defensive struggle in this game, but I don't want them to maybe send a bunch of guys and push there. So by putting some shots there, I've decided to at least deny them the attempt to go in and try to charge more towards mid. Okay, so not a lot of activity in this game. And I remember the ref said the whole field is in play. There's no reason why you should be using the back hotel in the mountain. That's what I'm telling myself at first. But I look here at the hotel. I know there's some decent lines of sight from the hotel windows. And I'm thinking that's not a great place to go, but maybe I can get, but you're in very good cover there. So maybe I can just get a different angle. Maybe there's somebody in the church windows I can spot from here. So I'm going to go back there and see what I can see.
Why the fuck not?
I got a nice view of the field from inside the hotel here, but I was hoping to maybe see some people, maybe in the mountain windows, just a different angle somewhere, but no, it is really too far here. So I'm going to go down. Luckily, I have a stairwell just to my right, so I don't have to go back the same way I came in. And I've got the option now of going on the main floor, because I know it's getting late in the game. And nothing's happening on top, nothing's really happening on the floor either, so why not go down there and mix it up a little bit?
Yeah, straight down the alley. I'm gonna go here. He'll shoot me. You get him.
Okay, I've talked with a teammate. I tell him I'm gonna go in, kind of maybe be a meat shield. I'm gonna try to go in along the garage, the north garage, along the wall there. And look, I might draw some fire if somebody takes me out. He can take him out. I'm gonna look down this lane here, and it's pretty daunting. I can get fire from a whole bunch of spots, but I got 3 lives. It's late in the game. Did I mention throwing caution to the wind? No, I'm just Andrew being Andrew. You know, potentially doing something really stupid. But it's the first game. You want to get your feet wet. So even if I get knocked out late, hey, I'm going to get hit sooner or later. Mentioned before, it's a game of inches, a split second here and there. At the corner of my eye, I see an enemy go through the doorway here by garage. Just missed him, wasn't set up for it. Then I hear him talk to his teammate. So he's talking to a teammate, and just by his tone of that, I judge that his teammate is right near him. And I'm gonna, even though it's late in the game, I'm gonna back up a little bit because he's got a teammate there. They can actually go back in the doorway and swing around on the Jeep here. Risky move, but still. But if both of them pop out there, worst case scenario for them is they miss me. Worst case scenario, second worst case scenario is one of them gets killed. Best case scenario is even if one gets killed, they can get me. I only got one marker. They would have two fixed on me. So even though it's late in the game and that, I'm going to back up a little bit because I'd like to take somebody out late, but the reality is I'm outgunned here. So let's try to use my head and see if I can wait there and maybe use my reflexes if they do pop the corners and see who can win that showdown. Now, the ref is already counting down the last, like he's within the last 10 seconds. So once again, I'm sitting there, my marker ready to go either left or right. I am not a competitive player. But this is a little challenge I see in front of me. It's the warm-up game of the night. So, not try-harding, but warming up.
Game over.
2 seconds.
Good job, buddy. Good game.
You said, did somebody call me out there?
Yeah, right there. Yeah,
I saw you move.
Well, okay, I didn't even get to do a shot at the end there. They didn't shoot at me, but I'm warm. It was this kind of, not a lot of action, right? But this tense thing, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I wasn't expecting it. There's a guy, boom, popped in the face. A fun game. And we're going to have videos of the next games coming out. There's already a couple, like I mentioned before, them put out. But this was a great group, and it was a really neat way to start the night. And honestly, at this small indoor field with so many markers and experience markers, I've never had this happen before. And I swear, I like to put music and everything overlaying on the videos. You could hear my heartbeat through the camera on top because it's so tight to my head. I guess all the veins. Maybe I should see a doctor. You can hear my heartbeat through my head. But anyway, heart really pumping here in a good way and a lot of fun. So until the next video, hope you enjoyed this one. Look, anything happens. As I mentioned before, you play the same game scenario, you expect the same things, and just little curves. And everybody was not so tentative the rest of the night, I guarantee you that. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Remember, be nice to those new players. Be nice to everybody. Try different things. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a game.
Game over.